Hola kids, how are you? I missed you guys yesterday. I wasn't there on Tuesday, and but I feel like, why should you guys stop learning how to do art from me, your teacher, just because I'm not there anymore? But I really miss you guys, and I hope you guys have a really great vacation. I'm having fun. I've started doing gardening. That's why my nails are like sticky. Gardening, doing succulents, and that's my new hobby now, aside from, of course, doing art every day. So today I want to teach you how to do gouache or tempera paint resist. And what that means is that, you know how normally we would use our drawings, oops, I'm sorry, our drawings and do line tracing. You know, we draw it first, then we trace it with your Sharpie pens, and then you color around it. This is going to be the opposite. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw something, and then instead of outlining it with a Sharpie pen, we're going to color around the line. So we're going to use, I want to let you know first of all that the materials that we're going to use. We're going to use, you know, your tempera paint, very cheap. Go to Walmart, you'll get a whole set of maybe 6 colors for like a couple bucks. But this is, I got this from Walmart, and this one bottle was like $1 or something, so I got 2. And but for seasoned artists like me, because this is just what I already have on hand, I use something called gouache, and this is what it is. Let's see if I can. Gouache. Okay, that's how you pronounce it. So now I'm gonna, there. So gouache is just like tempera. It acts like tempera. What it is that it's just like watercolor, except it is not transparent like watercolor is. Watercolor is transparent, which means that you can see through when you put layers on top. Gouache acts like acrylic, even though it also acts like watercolor, which means that it can be washed off. So what we're calling this project is gouache resist, which means that the ink will resist the gouache. You know, like, let's say if you had plastic, let's say you had plastic and you poured water over the plastic, it doesn't soak in. That's what it is. It doesn't soak in. It resists it. So it means like, I don't want you, get away from me. So it resists. So it just puddles the plastic, when you put water on it, it just puddles on top. And when you take the water off, it's dry, so it doesn't really soak in. So that's exactly what this is. Gouache will resist the ink. It's called India ink. So we're going to use India ink with it. Alright, so this is what we're going to end up having right here. Isn't it cute? Oh, isn't she cute? Okay, so what I did was I just split my paper in quarters. Alright, this is watercolor paper, and let me show you what the cover of this looks like. It's really cheap to get from Walmart. Maybe a whole pad of this is like $5, or if you get it at, if you get the 40% off coupon at Michael's, you'll get it way cheaper than that. So let me just fix something here, because I can see my wire. Okay, so this is Watercolor Pad, and it says right here it's 90 pound, okay? 9 by 12. This is the size, and this is, and pound is simply how heavy the paper is. So 90 pound is your really not heavy, but light paper. So, so if this is light, this is watercolor paper, and then 120 pound is this hard. So this is the last page that I have. Aren't I nice? I'm making my last watercolor paper project for you guys. All right, so I'm gonna take my scissors, and you guys need to learn how to fold. If you don't know how to fold, you're just going to put the edges like real close together and make it straight. We don't want to see, like, you know, uneven edges there. So then you just fold it, crease the fold, and then cut it. And I'm gonna cut. When you cut, you want to cut like in one fell swoop, or you can cut like this. That's fine too, but sometimes it doesn't turn out straight. So okay, so I'm gonna put this one aside. You can do, and then I'm gonna use just 1/4 of this. And for you guys, you can share it with your brother, sister, whatever, whoever's there with you in the summer. Cut. Okay, we're gonna do a simple, very simple drawing here. So I'm gonna take my pencil. Where's my pencil? Excuse me. Okay, so here's my pencil, and let's draw this little cute thing. Okay, let me try to close up a little bit so you guys can see better. Can you see? Just there. Okay, so for this, what we're gonna do is we're going to draw like a oval shape but sideways. Okay, so if you're not sure about sideways oval shape, you can just turn your paper. Like I said, you know, there's no rule against turning your paper if it's more comfortable for you. So just really lightly, very, very lightly, okay? And oval shape is just like a stretched out like a pill almost, okay? Oops. Now, you can erase if you want, because it's not gonna matter. Okay, so there's our oval. See it? Now we're gonna do ears for her. Ears. I don't know what this thing is. Is it like a bear? Or a little girl with bear, maybe bear hoodie? I don't know. Okay, so I just erased a little bit of that line inside the ear. And then you're gonna do another one like this. But this time you're gonna extend it a little bit farther than this point right here. So go a little bit farther. And also here, go a little bit farther than these points. Okay, now you're gonna follow this line right here, and starting with this, you're gonna follow the line. Just go around the face, and once you get here to the bottom middle part, you're just gonna swoop a little bit, and then do the same right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, you can practice before you do your final one if you want, with another extra piece of paper. So okay, you don't even need this part right here. I just drew it because it was part of the oval. Okay, now we're going to do her dress, because the reason why we're doing her dress is because nothing is overlapping on the dress. So we're gonna do her dress right here in the middle. You're just gonna do kind of a square, but not really because it's got curves right here. Then you're just gonna do 2 stretch out letter U's. 1, 2, and then underneath 1, 2. And you guys, if you don't like to draw this girl, you can draw whatever you want as long as it's not doodling. I always want to stress that out, that as long as it's not a doodle, because doodling is too small. It's like, you know, like do 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 do. You want to put a man there, da da da. Okay, so you can't really do a resist with that. So next thing I'm going to do is her arms. So again, this is light, okay? This is very light. You don't want to really do hard lines because then you'll see it once you resist. And plus, this lead is going to be resisting too. So if you once you put the ink on it, then it would not look good. So let's do her eyes. So eyes is 2 lines, 1, 2, and then again 2 letter U's stretched out, 1 in the middle and 1 outside. Let's do a little sparkle for her eye here, just a little sparkle there. Okay, so remember, every single line that you see on here you did with a pencil. Okay, you're going to leave blank with the paint. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of nose, like make it kind of a skinny U underneath, and then her lips is like 2 diagonal lines, and then we're gonna go dip in the center. You can make it thick lips or thin, that's fine. So I made hers thick. And then we're gonna do the ribbon. Okay, so the ribbon is just like a little circle and that kind of thing. Ribbon. Then I'm gonna go lines on her dress. I'm gonna be, so this ribbon is hiding the lines, so I'm just gonna go down and then leave some blank like that, and then down, down, down. All right, I'm not gonna worry about these other circles because you can go ahead and do that later, but we're gonna have a little eyebrow for her. We're gonna do it high on the face because she's not really a normal person, right? Okay, so now I'm going to show you now how to work this. So I have my gouache, okay, and this is like, and tempera is very nice because you can erase that or wash it off, right? So I'm gonna take my little palette right here. This is my palette that I use for my paint, and this is acrylic paint that I'm scraping off because I don't need it anymore. I'm gonna show you guys how to like use these paints that are dried up on your palette. It's really cool. Actually, it's already on my other YouTube channel, but I can do it again for you guys. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna move this away for a minute and take my watercolor brush. Okay, your watercolor brush is always only assigned to watercolor. Acrylic brushes also can be used just for acrylic and not for watercolor because acrylic brushes usually has the dried up paint inside, and so it's not really good for watercolor. So then I'm going to take really clean water. Even though this jar is dirty, it looks dirty, it's just stained, it's clean. And I have a cap on that jar because I don't want to have any accidents on my table because I have my computer on my table. So every time I finish doing my work, I always close or put the lid back on. So let's do this, okay? Now you're gonna need your paper towel too, so that you can blot the water off of it. So I'm gonna use orange, okay? So let's just follow what she's wearing. So I'm gonna take some orange. This is my gouache, okay? I'm not using tempera because I only have 2 colors, but if you guys, whatever you guys have. All right, here's another thing. Gouache will wash off, all right? Because it is watercolor. So even if it's watercolor on your paper, you can wash watercolor off your watercolor paper. Okay, the reason why we're using watercolor paper is because it will absorb any wetness. So let's start. So I'm going to take my orange, okay? I'm gonna start with the dress, all right? As you can see, I'm going to skip the line. I'm not painting over the line. So I'm gonna leave that line blank or untouched by my paint. It's okay if you go a little bit over. That's, oh, look, I got paint on my hand. So it's okay if you leave a little bit off. It will add character to your painting. You guys are going to be having so much fun in the summer, even though it's probably going to be hot. I'm going to be gardening the whole summer, and my son is getting married in September, so I get to go to my son's wedding. Okay, so here's the next part. So see, I'm going to leave the line all alone by itself. Leave it alone. Okay. So I'm almost done with her dress. Okay. And all right, so now you see the gaps in between, okay? That will be where normally your Sharpie pen will sit. Now I'm going to try to get some blues here, because blue and orange go together. So we're gonna do, this is gonna be a simple one. I mean, you guys can do whatever you want, but again, the reason why we're putting down these colors is just so you can get a little bit of color at the end of the project. So put some blue in there. Again, I'm not painting over my pencil lines. I hope you're starting to get the idea. If not, you can always ask me a question on the comments section. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of blue on the side. Again, I'm gonna try to not go over that line, that pencil line. And I'm going to post, if you guys are interested in succulents, I'm going to start making videos on those things. They're so cool. And you can buy a plant at Walmart for like $2. And you can start your own little collection if you want. Those of you who are interested in gardening, Horticulture, which is just the same as gardening. And then the blue on the ear part. Again, I'm not painting over. And under her eyes. Again, don't paint over that area. Here we go. Now, wash my brush, get all that paint out of there. I'm gonna take, I don't know, red, maybe kind of like a vermilion. This is like a light red, almost an orange, but not really. See the difference? It's a little bit darker. That's what I'm gonna use for her lips. So, careful not to paint over the pencil mark. And I left this part of her eye, that's the black part. I'm not gonna paint over that, but because like I said, we're going to paint the ink on. I'm gonna take some pink. And I'm gonna go over her whole face, her arms, like you guys call it, flesh color or skin color. I'm just using pink. Doesn't really matter. So again, see how I'm missing the pencil mark. And I'm gonna leave the eyebrows blank too, because that's gonna be black. Remember, gouache, tempera colors will wash away. It's not going to entirely wash everything away, so you'll still see the color there, but it's very, 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 very light. So what I usually do is, like I did with this one, as soon as I am done with the process, I just go over it with watercolor, and I mean, the effect is really, really, really cool. So here we go. And I'm going really thick, so you should too. Now remember, after you're done with this, you have to let this dry for at least 1 week. Okay, that's why I'm not going to be able to show you exactly what to do, but I'll do a little motion presentation, or just going over how to do it, as if we're doing it that way, the way we're supposed to do. Okay, her arms, oops, see how I painted over that part? I'm going to take some off. So her arms. And then I'm just going to do an update. Or maybe I'll just do an update, because you see what it looks like, right? I'll just do an update later. But you get the picture. Alright, so now now that I'm done with the skin, okay, oh, some little bit more here. See how there's still like white? You can still see white. All that white part is going to be black once we're done with the process. So part 2 will probably be a week from now. Not probably, it will. Okay, so let me see. I have pink, some more pink up here in the ears that I need to do. Too much water. You gotta sop all that water off and on your paper towel. You don't want too much water. As you can see, I'm only using very, very little here. You know, just enough for coverage. Next, we're doing, let's see, let's do a little bit of, I think I'm gonna do yellow this time instead of green. So I'm gonna use my yellow. This, it's like a medium yellow. It's not a bright yellow. This is a medium yellow. So I'm gonna go to her. I don't know what that is. I think it's like a head thing, you know, like those things that you, like a hat, animal looking hat, or animal hat, whatever. I don't know. And I don't care. Okay, so yellow looks really cool. And then against the black, that yellow is going to be really, really nice. Okay. Oh, that's cute. Almost as cute as you. Okay, so for the circles, okay, so I'm just gonna go random, do little circles like this, and so I don't have to keep washing my brush. I'm just gonna go and do all the little circles with the yellow. Sorry guys, still got my allergies. I'm pretty sure some of you still have allergies too. So you understand why I'm sniffling. Go do this. Okay, so see, sometimes you have to make it interesting. And like I have all these circles, and then I'm gonna do half a circle, you know, in few places so that it looks kind of cool. Maybe some next to her. Do some next to her. Alright, and then I'm going to take my orange and I'm going to go around that circle, okay? I don't want to go right up against the yellow because I want this in between to be black. So, there. And once you're done with this, it's gonna look so organic, which means, I'm using big words, organic means that it's like natural. Like it's not printed by cartoon, animation, Disneyland, Mickey Mouse stuff. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm not stressing about that because why? There's no mistake in art. I'm not gonna stress about it. That's just gonna add character to my painting here. Now I'm gonna use my blue. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna mix blue and yellow. Make a little green here, so it's not so boring. So I'm gonna do another circle around. So see, it doesn't matter that it's a different color, you know, like it's always nice to have like only 3 colors, but since this blue and this yellow is part of the painting already, you got to remember this. When you have, when you're using colors and you mix the colors you already have in your palette, it's going to tie in with the rest of your painting, which means it's not going to clash. It's not going to be contrasting because you're using the same two colors that you used on your painting. So it's all going to tie together. If you're using a different kind of blue, let's say you use this kind of blue. This is a different kind of blue than this one that we just used. Okay? Then it would be clashing because it's a different hue. It's a different value. I hope you know what I mean. Value means like it's a different tone. It's going to be much darker. So it's going to confuse the eye. And the eyes get confused a lot. Alright, so I'm going to stop right here. As it is, the way it is right now, it's really cool, right? But, let me tell you, once we're done, this is dry for a week. You're going to dry this for a week. Be patient. This is one of the things about art. You guys have to exercise patience when you're doing art because you cannot rush art. In the meantime, do your thing. Go jogging, play around, visit a friend, go to Disneyland, Great America, wherever you want to go. Write me a letter, write me an email or something. For a week, 1 week, we're going to set this aside, okay? Then what happens is we're going to apply ink all over it. Do not be afraid. But I'm going to show you because I'm not afraid. You're just going to paint after it's all dry. You're going to paint India ink all over it. Has to be India ink. Can't be any other kind of ink. I don't know why. It's because I think India ink is like really, really strong black. So you're going to paint the India ink all over it. And then you're going to let it sit again for another week. And once the week is over, you're going to take the whole thing. Now the whole thing is black. You're not seeing anything underneath. You're going to take the whole thing. You're going to drip water. Okay, you're going to turn the faucet on really, really low. Just a really small stream. And then you're going to gently rub all over that. You're going to gently rub all over it. Okay, and you don't stress out. Don't panic if you see like all your colors being erased or being washed away. That's normal. Okay, that's normal. So this right here, this girl right here, she's not like this. She's not this vivid like the colors. Okay, what happened there is when after I was done with the washing and I let it dry, I took some watercolor and I painted over it, and it gave me just such a nice effect. Like I said, organic. And you can go ahead, but the best part of it is that, see all this black part right here, these black parts, that's where the ink used to be. Okay, and then these little black things around her eyes, that's from the ink. And if you can see, get close up. Okay, if you can see, like her arms, there's like black on there. It's because of the ink, and it's really pretty. I'll show you another one. I did a bus, a Volkswagen bus. Same thing. See all the black part? That's where the ink was. Okay? That's where the ink was. And I just, if I wanted to get it darker, I just went on my watercolor and then I just, you know, did darker. And I also, look at this, I also lined it with gold marker. I'll show you another one. This one is also my painting. Okay, this is a painting of myself. it's a self-portrait. So I did the same thing, but see, look underneath there. See all the ink parts right there? Ink ink right there, ink, 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 ink. And same with this one. This is just an abstract painting, but look, this was, okay, I wrote it at acrylic and Higgins hair dryer. So I dried it with a hair dryer, and I used the Higgins ink, but as you can see, the Higgins is really, really dark. It's too dark. And then this one, let me see, nothing there, nothing there. This was air dried about 30 minutes, then blow dried. Too long, this failed. I think the paints you should be richly colored, used thickly. Okay, that's another thing. Maybe you can go over it. Once it's dry, you can go over it with some more paint. All right? Make it really thick. Go over it again. Again, art, you have to be patient. Okay? And I'm going to do an update for this one after a week. Until then, I'll see you next time. Hope you still subscribe to me and keep doing art. Love you guys. Bye. Salon, this is say hi to my YouTube viewers. Hi!